Hey everybody, I wasn't planning to make any particularly in-depth guide like this for Granblue Fantasy, as in my opinion this game is relatively easy to pick up and learn. That is until I started using Narmaya, who has quickly become my favorite character in this game to play, despite easily being the most difficult character to use in this game. She is a character who is a mix-up monster with several tools to keep the opponent guessing where to block, and several tools to capitalize once the opponent is opened up. You want to get your opponent into the corner and start landing some of the flashy, explosive combos for big damage, which is easier said than done because her damage output is relatively low despite the high effort and precision timing her combos require. But landing one of these double stance switch combos into a super is one of the most satisfying things in this game.
You hang by a thread. Allow me to cut it. Farewell.
So let's begin. First, let's talk about her normals and what they do. So Narmaya is a very unique character in that she has two stances and two complete movesets for each. So we're just going to dive in. Like every character, she has 3 separate auto combos for each of the attack buttons, or 6 if we're talking about her second stance. Many characters as well, she can chain a 2L into a 5L auto combo, which is the go-to low string. Now, in case you were not aware, each character has different normals depending on how far away they are. Narmaya's 5L, however, is unique because it's the same no matter where you are on the screen. Her best poke, by far, is her Sheathed 5M. It's her longest reaching move and can be cancelled into any of her special moves for some burst damage. Her 2H from either stance is good as an anti-air to catch jump-ins. And speaking of jump-ins, her best jump-in is her M by far. Both stances have an easy cross-up on hit, so just keep that in mind when you're jumping in. Her normals are fine and dandy, but nothing we haven't seen. Her specials are where this character becomes interesting. So I'm going to use the simple input and the Numpad Notation to describe them. I'm going to call the easy input button S going forward, by the way. So first we're going to go over the Dawnfly stance, which is the Sheath stance. The 236L or 5S, the Dawnfly Setsuna. This is a quick slash attack. It is her projectile and basic combo finisher. It also breaks projectiles, which can be very helpful against zoners. Its medium version can be held down, and its heavy version either knocks the opponent down, or in the corner, it wall bounces them to open them up for a combo. Also worth noting, all 3 are safe on block. Okay, so now we're on to her DP, her 623L or 6S, the Dawnfly Absolute Horizon. This is her Dragon Punch. All 3 versions are invincible, and this is her go-to option to break pressure. Avoid spamming, of course, because you will be punished, but if you need to get off me move, this is the one to use. Medium version hits a lot harder, but is more punishable. Heavy version hits multiple times, hits harder, but is also very punishable. So use this sparingly, but keep it in mind when you're getting pressured. And now her 214L or 4S, the Dawnfly Transient. This is her dash, arguably the main move in her kit. The light version dashes in front of the opponent. Medium and heavy versions go behind. The thing that makes this move amazing is that you can cancel out of it with any of her specials or even her supers. And if the heavy versions of any of these moves are used to cancel, it actually changes her into free Flutter stance, which can lead to some crazy mix-ups. Her U, Butterfly Effect, this is her unique action, it's her stance switch. This is her most important move since switching stances in mid-combo is what leads to her craziest and most fun stuff. And now we're going to move on to the free Flutter stance. Her new 236L or 5S, her free Flutter Kyokasuigetsu, I hope I pronounced that right, is basically her Rekka. The light version hits once, the medium version hits twice, and the heavy 3 times. The heavy version can also be a combo starter in the corner. In free Flutter stance, you want to be using the medium version of this to end combos since it pushes the opponent towards the corner, which this is where you want them. You want them in the corner, so this move helps with that greatly. Her new 623L or 6S, the free Flutter Mugen Kagura. Free Flutter has its own DP. However, this is slightly different. She pauses for a second and counterattacks. While flashy as a counter, this works much the same as her original DP. The only downside is that it cannot be used to finish off combos like the original one. And lastly, her 214L or 4S, her free Flutter Crescent Moon. This move is deceptively bad, but also kind of awesome. Narmaya jumps in the air and does a spinning slash. The issue with this move, it looks like an overhead and is not. This is the one buff I need to see because this move should absolutely be an overhead. That said, on block it does leave the opponent in block stun for a long time to continue pressure, so it's absolutely plus on block. And plus it does side switch, so it's still good as a cross up, it just could be better if it was also an overhead. This can also be used in the air, by the way, however it has the exact same problem with it not being an overhead, even when used in the air. But I have found the use for this: pressure. This move used with the easy heavy input can be used immediately after jumping. If it lands or is blocked, Narmaya lands instantly and is plus on block. I tested this a bit and Narmaya was consistently plus on block and can continue pressure. This is simultaneously one of her most disappointing but also most valuable moves because of this. If a buff were to happen and this was made an overhead, this would likely be all this character needs to rocket up the tier list. And last but not least, we have her supers. Her 2-6H, 2-6S super is basically a DP. It's amazing against jumping opponents because it comes out near instantly, does great damage, you're invincible on startup. You can hold down the heavy button to not follow up in combo after. However, I have not found much reason to do this personally since I'd rather just have the damage, but it is something you can do, so it will be mentioned. And then we have her super Skybound Art, which you use by using the unique button instead of the heavy, or the unique plus heavy instead of just the heavy button for her super. Her super Skybound Art will work in nearly any situation her original super would. It's projectile invincible on startup, so you can use it to catch an opponent throwing fireballs, jump-ins, or of course to end combos. If used close, it goes into the full animation for max damage, but from far away, it still does a tremendous amount of damage, so feel free to use this if you see an opponent whiff something. Okay, so now that we've gone over all her moves and the best times to use them, let's talk about her mix-ups. Narmaya is a character with some of the craziest mix-up potential in the game. She has all the above tools that can be used in varying ways to pressure the opponent. To keep this as simple as possible, I'll talk her mix-ups from her auto combo because that'll likely be the one you'll use the most. So from her auto combo, you can cancel into any one of her moves. You can go for universal overhead, which if landed as a counter hit can lead into a full combo. You can use 214L or M to mix up the opponent whether it be on the left or right side. And of course this can be comboed into any one of her specials. I usually go for the medium cross-up into 2-6H because it comes out so fast it's safe on block and very hard to react to, or 2-1-4H for the mix-up to mix-up. She crosses up, then flips back over to the side you started on. Very tough to block, unless they're using the block button of course, so if you notice they are blocking these, while using any of the dashes, go for a low or a grab, keep mixing it up. One way or another you will get that hit and you will push them back. Then, once you get them in the corner, you can have some real fun. So I'm not going to make an insane combo list, I'm going to include a very simple bread and butter, a couple complex ones, but this character's combo path is incredibly versatile, so keep experimenting, you will find better stuff eventually. This is just to get you started.
Great! Great! Great!
You hang by a thread. Allow me to cut it. Farewell.
Not yet.
Death
Excellent!
is my blade.
Great!
Crumble into dust.
Not bad! Great!
I can do this. Crumble into dust. You hang by a thread. Allow me to cut it. Farewell.
Not yet!
Crumble into dust. You hang by a thread. Allow me to cut it. Farewell.
Not yet!
Crumble into dust. You hang by a thread. Allow me to cut it. Farewell.
Not yet!
There's definitely more room for combo creativity to get even more damage, so drop your best combos below, I'd love to see them. And that is it guys, that should be everything you need to get started with Narmaya. If you enjoyed, I'd appreciate a like and a subscription if you aren't already subscribed. I appreciate you watching, this is Tom, till next time everybody.